beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, you'll be okay. A beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes, you'll see it's true. Good times, sunshine, gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies, push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground, turn everything around. You're gonna live your life. There's a beautiful day.
Welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Monday night. We're on our medium project night. I've been working on ties, but I got the last one of those done and preparing for our event this Saturday. So kind of getting some stuff put up so I can get it taken with me. So I'm just going to work on some jelly cube tonight. It's getting bigger slowly. Get a little bit done tonight, and I'll probably get quite a bit done on Saturday while we're at the event. It's what I plan on working on while I'm there. So that's what we're going to work on tonight. I still don't know what I'm going to do on Wednesday. Thursday we'll still work on the chessboard. I still got a little bit, got most everything out for that still, so that'll work out good. But I'm not sure what we're going to do on Wednesday yet. But I'm just going to go ahead and start working on this here. We are only going to go an hour tonight. I like to at least go an hour to hour and a half. But I got to make a run out real quick. I got to get some stuff for the cat so he can get his shots tonight. He's a very methodical cat. He's kind of like me in a way, where things got to be a certain way. So I got to get his treats or he'll just get confused and not understand what's going on. So I've got to run out and get some of that for him tonight. So we will only run an hour, but we'll be back on Wednesday. And plus I still need to get some stuff ready for tomorrow. I'm going out to band camp tomorrow. This is our first week of band camp, so I want to get out there and get some drone work done and get some pictures of them during practice. I'll do that twice this week and probably twice next week too. So I do need to get that ready. It's going to be a busy week trying to get all the band camp starting up and getting ready for the event coming. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to make another trip out to, there's a place here in town called KC Fixtures. And that's where I get my grid walls, and they got all kinds of accessories for that. And going to try a little bit of a different setup this time, so I want to get a few more things for setup this time for this event. See if it's going to work. So I got that tomorrow to do still. And our push mower, it went out last week, or 2 weeks ago actually, almost now. So I had to, lawn's getting a little thick and still needed to get it mowed, and so they sent me a new mower. I've got to send back the old mower because it's still, I've only had it for about 7 months, and I've only used it a handful of times in all reality. I mean, we only used it once last year before the growing season ended, and then a little bit this year, and it kind of went to crap, so it was still under warranty, so they're just sending me a new one. So I'll have to get some mowing done tomorrow too. At least, I got the sun that helps me with that. Try to get that done somewhat early, but with band camp going and stuff, I'll have a little more to do. But I do want to say thanks for dropping in if you're watching live or you're watching later. Let's see, I gotta figure out which one I'm on here. But I thank everybody for stopping in, dropping in, saying hi, watching them later. It's all good. I also want to thank everybody that's made orders over the past a couple months easy. Well, and anybody that's ever ordered from us, I mean, that's good too. But you guys have been getting a little more orders coming in here lately, and it's been kind of nice to keep active and get things going again and get through this lockup and get back to doing some events. Will be kind of nice. Gonna be a little hot this weekend, but you know, I'll take it. I want to get back out there and get some of these new things shown that I've been doing. I mean, I show them on my website or on the Facebook page and to other chain mailers and stuff, but I don't even think that the last scale shade I did that everybody thoroughly enjoyed, it hasn't seen a event yet, so it'll be nice to get that out there. And well, and then my jersey, it hasn't been to an event, and the Mahomes inlay hasn't had an event, so I did get my stand done for my Mahomes jersey. I haven't got it sanded yet. I was hoping to do that, but just hadn't had a chance to. I'm kind of in a way putting it off because I got so much other stuff to do. It's like, you know, it'd be nice to be able to do it, but it's not a necessity per se compared to some of the other things. So I might actually try to get out there Wednesday and do it, because Thursday again will be another tight day. So I'm hoping Wednesday. If I can't get it done by then I'm just gonna, it'll just be plain until the next event. Come on, open up. Getting these little boogers in here sometime, it's not fun. Even though I'm having fun building, I'm just gonna keep it growing and growing. Not even sure how heavy it is right now. I haven't done a lot on it since the last time, but every once in a while, you know, I might get in 4 or 5, you know, rows, not a 4 or 5 sides. It'd be nice, but I want to get that. Keep it growing. Like I said, I have no idea when we'll stop. I did get some more rings up. I've got over a pound of these rings right now, so I mean, you can imagine if I get them all into that block, it's going to be huge. And if I need more, I'll make more. Don't plan on ever selling it, really. I mean, if somebody really wanted it or something, I would, but no designs or inlay into it. It's actually kind of hard to find the right ring sizes that I need. I did find some, that's how I did my colored ones, but compared to the ring prices for those, compared to making these up myself, I got just out of bright aluminum, a big difference in the price on that. So if I was to do any inlay, I could do the outer edges when I finally get there. But like I said, I don't know when I will actually be done. It doesn't have a size I want to stop at, so I don't really know. And what I'd want to do is an inlay on the outside of it. But who knows, one day maybe I'll just decide, okay, this is big enough. I'll put on one more on everything and we'll call it good there. But we'll just have to see and wait and see what happens. Got that one, okay. Got confused for a second. Hopefully I'm in camera angles here properly. I always have a harder problem after a weekend coming back. I'm making sure I'm in camera angle here. I'm trying to adjust that one a little bit, see if that helps. We'll see. And then just try to keep myself in the right spot. These ears are so small I kind of have to pull it up a little closer to me. I hope I don't get my head in frame either. I'm not doing it on camera like I've said a million times. It's so much easier to do, but I think I got one more row on the chessboard over the weekend. I just need to get some house stuff caught back up, and that's always a chore in itself. So, and then like I said, just getting everything ready. Got the trailer out finally, and still got to do some straightening up a bit to it. Just to, most of the tables are still in there, and half the grid walls are in there, but packing up the rest of the boxes with, you know, clasps and ear hooks and all the little doodads you got to take. I won't put my pliers in till last, but they go in my last little box that I pack up. It'll have my pliers and the jelly cube parts and all that, so that I can do work while I'm there. Well, to make adjustments while we're there too. So that will be the last bit going up in there, but I did have, I don't know, we probably had a good 125 plus items that needed to get priced and tagged and all that good stuff, because I've just been making stuff and hadn't really been putting price tags on them or anything, just because we didn't have events coming up. So had to go through all that and straighten up the spinners. It's got all my earrings and keychains and some necklaces, some bracelets on it. And like I said, just trying to think about in my head how we're going to set up this time, because taking along some of the laser stuff with me this time too. It's not going to take up much room, but you know, I've still got to plan it into everything. So that should be fun. Other than the heat, I think it's supposed to be partly cloudy, which might help a little bit, but and a little possibilities of rain, I guess, early. Hopefully it doesn't, but we've got walls for the tent, so normally don't have to worry about that. We've had a few problems before, but last time I put a protectant on the tent. It definitely doesn't leak like it used to, and probably need to put another coat on there, but it's been a while since the tent's actually been up. I wanted to do a full setup before, but I'm just not going to have time to do it. I'm probably going to plop the tent up just to make sure everything's in reason. Plus there's actually a few things I want to measure on the tent. Won't be able to get it for this event, but it's mostly during the day anyway. I mean, it goes up till 10, but we normally pack up around 7. It's a concert event, and once it starts getting dark, most people are done doing their shopping. They've spent all day running around, looking at stuff, playing, all that, and then when we get to later at night, most of the vendors end up heading out. They start closing up around 3 to 4, which is a normal event would close up around 4, so hope to stay up till about 7 this year. So we really won't need lights, but I do want to measure some things because I want to make some 3D printed parts so that I can actually hang my lights for when we do a nighttime event. That'll make it a little bit better than the way I normally just wrap them around the bars and stuff. It'll be a lot. That can take some time when you got 50 foot of lights. You're trying to string through everything up in the top of the tent. So if I can make some little clips, it'll make it nice and quick and easy to get the light system put up. So I want to measure all that anyway. Been something I wanted to do since I got the 3D printers, but haven't really had an event since I got the 3D printer, so it gives me a good reason to get it up and tested. Let's see here where we at. Alright. We got this, and then I'll be going over to the other side and even that out, and then we should come square again. As you can see, my blue ring was, at one point it was the center, but I ended up adding on these two sides once. Otherwise it would be over here. So it's grown from it's 5x5 original size. I'm not even sure. I think I'm close near 8x8 maybe. I haven't counted in a while. I just kind of keep adding and weighing, adding and weighing. Weighing gives me a rough estimate of how many rings are in here, but after this next event, I'll probably try to get a good count of rings of where we're at on the rings. After the event, I probably won't work on it for a little while, just because we'll kind of be getting settled in from doing that. And I got a medium project lined up in mind that I'm going to be working on here on Monday nights. We'll talk about that when we get into it. I doubt it will be next Monday. Just because I don't know if I'll have everything I need by then. I've got 2 orders outstanding with suppliers right now, so hopefully they'll be coming in. I'm supposed to get 1 this week. We'll see. Actually, I guess I got 3, because I got some black and steel coming from one place, and I did get some stainless steel rings in square wire just because I haven't been able to find square wire that I can coil and cut myself yet. At least within a price range that's decent, let's just say that. I found some, but so I went ahead and got me some square wire rings pre-coiled and cut. And then I've got some stainless steel wire myself already that I need to coil and cut up because I need to do some more wallet chains. I've been selling quite a few wallet chains in the past couple weeks, so I need to get kind of stocked back up on those. Let me give a quick check here. 15 minutes in. Everything's looking good. Looks like everything's coming up good. Hopefully I'm not missing any. I don't know why I switched over there, but oh, hey John, good to see you. Coil and cut it never ends. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Alright, I think that was the last of that side. We'll go back up and continue working on this beast. This corner. I did a little bit of in there. I try to do a little bit in every corner that I'm going to do on the next level so that I reminds myself which ones I'm going to do. Clipping 8 pounds of overlaps tonight. Sweet. Did you, I don't know who's, do you use a special clippers where you got a notch cut out so you can get the overlap good? That's one thing I've got my other set of clippers that I've got to do that with. I haven't got into it and made my cut yet to get what I need on it yet, but I did buy the snips to do it. I just need to, let's see here, yeah, that one. I've been kind of putting it off in a way just so I can get my other parts that I need. I still need to get the actual, I don't know what you necessarily want to call it, mandrel part that you'll do put the ring under to do your hitting, your banging out, but I put that one on the wrong one. I gotta find the closure on it again. I've seen a couple different styles of doing it. Some have got a inner pipe that you can put your ring down inside. Others I've seen just use a flat piece on it. I lost it. I lost my closure. There it is. Notch with a chain pile. Yeah, that's kind of what I planned on doing with mine. My other set, I ended up getting 2 more sets. I got, well, 2 just so if I screw up one, I got another set I can try to make sure it worked on the second try, just in case. Knowing my luck, you know, that's how it works with me. I'll end up screwing something up, so then I'll have to redo it. So I wanted to make sure I got enough when I got to it. I made a piston from a roller pipe and axle shaft. Sweet. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm debating on how I want to do that. If I wanted to use, because some of them they'll have the outer tube, and then they'll put their banger part inside of it, and then others are just kind of flat on your anvil. And that is the other thing I got to get is my anvil. I've got a small one, but no way I'd trying to flatten out any kind of metal on it. I mean, it works for what I've used it for through the years, but so that's really the last 2 things I really only need to get. I got everything else I need, so I mean, I think you only need, what, 4 different things for it. You need the clippers, and I've already got the sledge or hammer or whatever you want to call it to do that. Come on, flip over. First row is always a booger. Everything's so loose and wanting to flop around to the other side on you. So I am still debating on how I want to do that, if I wanted to go flat or do the center one. I keep still watching videos and trying to, like everything else, I never decide till last minute, and then that's what I just go. rings match much better with a piston versus just a set punch or flattening punch alone, as it aligns force up and down. And that makes sense. That's something I've actually never, really, with all the videos I've seen, nobody ever really talks about how to build the equipment that you're going to need. That ring's a little marred up. I'd rather not use it. I just kind of do it, so you have to, I'll watch the videos and I'll pause and try to zoom in the best you can, you know, kind of like those movies, like zoom in, zzz, move the thing closer to you. So it's a matter of just trying to find it, but I mean that makes good sense to keep it so you don't get them oblong if you don't hit it straight on every time. And I mean they're already going to be a little off because it's overlapping pieces, so that makes sense, perfectly good sense. So use a 300-pound anvil. Yeah, I haven't decided on what size I'm going to get. The biggest problem is trying to figure out where I'm going to put this stupid thing in here. I already got so much stuff as is. I want to, our basement, the other half we redid and got rid of all the carpet and stuff, and that's eventually what I want to do on this half, but I got to make a good plan and a good time so I have less downtime, and I'd like to do it after I got a garage set up out there. I don't know, I'm hoping maybe I can get some concrete poured here for the end of summer, maybe early fall. Try to get it up the garage here during the winter maybe, but one day at a time. If I only had, you know, $500,000, then I could have a nice setup. Cutting the overlap at the 40 gravity also makes a better ring than a straight cut. I guess I'm kind of imagining that in my head. I didn't really think about it. I mean, you kind of get, when you're doing an overlap anyway, I guess with my cutters I'd get a slight angle on it, but I guess the more I'm kind of thinking about it, I can see it working a little bit better that way. Could I have to using my brain power already? I'm not supposed to do that on nights like this. No brain power usage. As the metal squishes, it forms a shape as it balloons out. Yeah, and that's what I was kind of thinking in my head when I was kind of going over it. I could see that working a little bit better. I mean, the overlap's already going to kind of do that in a way, but one day I hope by early next year I'll for sure be getting into it. I'd like to be this year, but I know with everything that's going on with the events that we'll have here coming up in the fall, and then with all the band stuff I got going on, it's like I don't see the time happening. Like I said, my October, pretty much every weekend is shot. In a good way. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I enjoy doing my band stuff, but every weekend there's something, if not a couple somethings. A couple of the parades that they normally have in the spring got rescheduled to the fall, so I think they've got 3 parades this year in October instead of the normal just 1. So it's going to be a crazy fall. Be nice to kind of have it all back, but it's just going to make it busy. And then if I get any more events planned up, and then I doubt I'll get many events planned up for October, but I know November and December I've got 2 already pretty much scheduled. I'm hoping to get 2 more put in there in November and December. One reason why I'm trying to get everything set up well now so that when it comes time it's just ready to go. Did I screw something up here? No, just my brain. Just my brain is screwed up. Seen some of your posts earlier today ran across them, and I was like, yeah, sweet, you're just moving along. Wish I could just move along like that. And one certain thing, I just always working on something different. Evidence supports that chisel was slid into the coil and cut on the anvil or cut. Plate gives the angle cut, and when the ring is flattened, it forms a snake head-like shape. V's a bell or trumpet flared with a saw cut, saw flush cut. Versus V's versus a bell or trumpet. Yeah, all that makes sense. I actually learned a good little chunk on that stuff now from you. I'm glad that you come over and shed some light. Like I said, I haven't chatted with anybody that's done it. I just watched their videos of people that have done it, and I think I tried to contact one person the first time I seen one. I tried to contact him because I know he was on the main chainmail site on Facebook, and I think he posted some things there, and I ended up catching those later on, and never did hear back from him. So I didn't want to bug him or anything. Could have been just busy and whatnot, but because I was definitely wanting to find out more. So that's just when I started searching for YouTube videos and just trying to figure it out. And there have been a few websites here and there where people have posted information on it, but some sites are getting kind of old out there. There's a website I ran across the other day that hadn't been updated since I think it was 2007. I was like, yeah, that's been a while. Surprised it was actually still up. But some of those sites kind of get put up on other systems, and so if you don't manually go take it down, it's just kind of there. At least, when they're like one of those places that make up web space for you. Trying to Wix is one of them, I think. I think this one wasn't a Wix. Normally with a Wix website, you normally tell it's made by Wix, because they'll advertise the crap out of it on your site. I know my site would disappear if I don't pay for my annual server space and all that, so was it Mike? Was he a real kind of skinny dude with kind of a pointy goatee? I don't remember the name on it. I know I've saved a few in my favorites, so if I want to watch the videos again, I can go through and save it, click on it to go back to the YouTube link, but I just don't remember the name on it. I just watch it. It could be because that name sounds very familiar. I always have a hard time remembering names. That's my biggest problem. Okay, so now we know that I have problems and everything, right? Okay, that one's done. I always have a problem remembering names. Come on, through. It's like sometimes I wish my kids had name tags, because it's like, hey, you, oh yeah. Now with the grandkids added into it, just makes it 10 times worse. They'll come over and visit. It's like, which one are you again? Oh yeah. I don't know if Mike was the one or not. I know he kind of went old school on most of his stuff. He just still used a fire pit. The one of them that I've watched anyway. He used the fire pit to heat up his rings. And then another one I know who just uses a propane heater tank type thing. It does the job and stuff too, but it's kind of nice to see the old school fired it up in a pit and getting your temperatures. I'm sure that's probably a little more difficult to do that way though. What am I doing? Oh, I didn't put in that one. I guess that's where I'm actually at. Duh. Come on, get off there. I'm on the third, on my boys, the fourth. Yelling, John doesn't help at family events. Yeah. I guess, I wanted to name my kid I'm a junior. I wanted to do a third, or the third, but, I wasn't allowed to do that, because she's like, I can't, no, I don't want to be yelling at you, and then the other one come, or yell at the other one, and you come. But, you know, family events like that, you know, there are quite a few with the same name. Though I don't hit very many of those. I have to go back to West Virginia for most of my family events. My parents were actually moving out to California, or Colorado, when I was 6 months old, and the car broke down in Kansas City, and that's where I live. They stuck around for a while. Open fire, get more scale formed if you don't use a pipe. Yeah, and I think they've talked about that on one of those videos. Like I said, the videos were more just kind of showing you showing you what they did. It wasn't really informational per se. That's where I end up reading more, but finding anything, like I said, that's current is harder. And then some of them, you know, it's more just kind of talking you through their basics of it, not kind of getting into the details. It's nice to learn those things beforehand, but you know, that's one of those things you'll run across when you actually start doing it too. You'll find things that you didn't necessarily hear about when you were getting into it. And that's about like anything. There's many things on chainmail. It was like, you know, you kind of learn over time. Oh, get up through there. I think it's right. I just didn't want to get in through there. Where are we at here? So we're 30 minutes in. So we'll do another 30 minutes. I'm going to close up in an hour tonight, after an hour tonight. I'm going to make a run out, get a few things. So we'll be a little earlier than normal tonight. I mean, I do like to at least do an hour. I can't get longer, but an hour is about the minimum I like to do. My screen looked messed up for a second. Let's see, we're on to that. And hopefully we'll be on an hour and a half again on Wednesday, and again, depends on where I'm at and if I can get anything done after the stream. If it's decent enough out, if I need to do stuff outside anyway. It's just going to be a hot week here. I think we were like 93 today. It's supposed to be up in the 98 or so tomorrow, and then I think 100 on Thursday. It's like, ugh. A little cooler Friday, but then we're supposed to warm up again Saturday. Hopefully, we'll see. I think last time I checked, we're supposed to be at like 95 on Saturday. I'm like, I go with 90. I guess 95 is better than 100, but it's the only thing that sucks about outdoor events this time of the year, but gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I guess at least all the other events that are scheduled in November, December are all inside. Then it's just a matter of is it going to snow that weekend so you can get to it. Haven't really had, well, we've had a few light snows before on our November, December events, but nothing real bad that we had to cancel. I guess one year we had to cancel because I was sick. I ended up getting sick like Tuesday of the week, and it did not leave me till like Friday or Saturday of that week, and there was just no way I could get to it, so I had to cancel that one. I always hate canceling events. That just part of the thing I do hate about events, because sometimes you got to get into them months in advance, and you just don't know what's going to be going on in a couple months. You know, you try your best, but you pay to get into an event, you kind of want to make sure you can get to it. I hate missing them. Use rebar tie wire and 308 stainless for making riveted rings from, and copper and brass. Rebar, a coil, cut, flatten, a needle, punch, drill, drift rivet holes, then weave and rivet. Sounds like a lot, and it kind of is, but you know, once you get into it, you know, that's why I kind of want to do it. Just have a little more, you know, budded males, all good and fine, but I do want to build some just tough stuff per se. I mean, that's why I do like welding up with stainless, and I welded up some of the silver, and I've done some with brass. That was a little difficult. It took a while to get the brass rings to get the setting right for that, but once I got it down, it started going pretty good. Do I have that brass piece? No, I don't. It's not. It must be down under my box under the table. Imagine the steps for anodizing worded out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's one of the things that I'm probably going to do on, probably going to make it a Wednesday night. I should get my titanium balls in. I think that's the order that's coming in this week. So I'm going to get doing some anodizing of titanium and some niobium that I've been having sitting around for a while. And figured I'll put them on the stream here. And I've got everything I need to pretty much do that. I've got the multi-etch and all that. I mean, I've only actually done that a few times. Most of my anodizing before had been without the multi-etch, so that's going to be semi-new. It's just something I haven't done a ton of yet. But you know, everything I've read and see people do, it just makes for better colors. Maybe not as shiny, but you can get more in the middle of colors. More vibrant within certain color ranges. So, and when I did the little bit that I did, it was like I can kind of see that in a way. It adds another step to it and can take longer, but I've got to figure out. I'm having to build a holder for the balls. For the, well, in a way, I've seen some of the sponge anodized titanium balls. I forgot who did that. Was it? Oh God, what was his name? Oh, I know who I'm talking about. He's part of the anodizing group there on Facebook. Joshua got me hooked on him, watching his stuff. I want to say the first name starts with J, but I can't quite remember. Hoffman? Something Hoffman, I think. Now, I watched Bracken with Joshua do his, but there was another guy that got him hooked on to it, and he was sending links to, he was doing some streams there. I haven't seen his in a while, but it wasn't on Facebook either. He used a different website for his streams. I think the last name was Hoffman. I don't know. He's part of the anodizing group there on Facebook. He did a lot of titanium, but he was doing like flasks. I mean, I guess Joshua's done a lot of flasks and stuff too, but like I said, I need to write down these names and remember them. After a while, I do remember them, but it always takes me a little bit. Unless I chat with them more often, but Josh I chatted with quite a bit there many years ago, kind of how we became friends and stuff, and with you, I won't forget your name now. I've seen enough of your stuff, and you come in and chat with me, so... Brass copper, I find a hot plate made it weld much nicer and being clean. Actually, I've never actually tried that, but I could see that if it's warmed up already, because I mean, it is a pretty specific settings for when I was doing the brass, because you were off a little bit, you'd either blow it out or just not even get it, you know, half penetration on it. I'm interested. I have 16 G minimum wire for rings and 250 tie scales to try anodizing. Sweet. Yeah, I had to forget I got those scales too. So I've got rings and ear wire, balls. I haven't tried to do any anodizing of sheets yet. I've noticed Joshua over there at Brackenmail, he's done some sheet stuff, and I think that was the guy I was talking about before. He was sending him some of the cut designs, sticker vinyl stuff, so they could put on it and then anodize around that and peel it off and anodize. Now I got myself a vinyl cutter. I still haven't fully learned it yet either. I've had it for 2 years now, and I've done a couple mugs. I did a shirt for the wife, the in-laws, and then I actually made us new sets of stockings, Christmas stockings to hang up, because I bought a bunch just for the family years ago, and now we have all the grandkids, and kids have gotten married, so got son-in-laws that need to have one, so I ended up doing that. So I want to work with it more, but like I said, normally my chainmail comes first. Everything else kind of gets in when it can. Got a Cricket Air too. I got the Silhouette 3. It was got it a little while before the Silhouette 4 came out. And after I seen the 4 come out, I was like, well crap, I haven't used my 3 enough yet. I can't upgrade. Need to use it a little more. But it's kind of fun, and that's what I want to use to do some of the anodizing of scales. To put pictures on the scales, is use it to cut out templates and stuff, and then you do your darker colors first, peel that off to your lighter colors. I'm sure there'll be a testing process and all that too. What are you doing? Oh, we're making all kinds of racket. He's probably ready to go out. I made sure I shut the door today, so I got one cat out, one in. They both probably want to trade places already. Cuts it and stick it to the leather wet work die, remove it, and it's crisp, sweet. Yeah, it's I wanted to. My sister had one. I think she had some type of one of the Cricket ones. I don't remember what version it was. She had it years and years ago, and she was doing stuff with it, and I was like, man, that's kind of cool stuff. I'd like to do that. When I started doing my laser etch scales and tags, I was like, man, this would work well on doing some anodizing and stuff. And then that's when I got the anodizer and ended up just anodizing colors. I haven't really gotten into, like I said, figuring out how to get it fully worked on the Silhouette yet. Yes, I hear you, boy. Can't you wait a little bit? A glow board, yeah, I wouldn't mind having one. I do think they're a little bit overpriced. I've gotten me the 60 watt CO2 laser that, it's the knockoff per se. They're a lot cheaper. Now, granted, they have their issues, and I've had to do some upgrades to it. Most of the upgrades, though, I've done myself, adding in the chains and the laser lights and all that, and I printed up a ton of 3D parts for it, and I've cut out the bottom, and I mean, they do have their limitations, but for doing actually my scales and stuff, I want to get one of the carbon fiber lasers. They run about $4,000 for the smaller ones that I've seen. I think Hannibal King got one like that. That's kind of this one I'm looking at getting, because they're a lot quicker than the CO2 lasers, and I get a lot of other work out of my CO2 laser for other things that I wouldn't be able to do with a carbon fiber laser. But a carbon carbon fiber laser works so much better on scales, and more just the quickness of it would just be nice and easy. It's the width of the laser cuts that I'm sold on. Yeah, well, I mean, the one that I've got here will do, what was it, 24 by 28 by 20. It's not bad. It's got pass through, so one that I made my own pass through. I've got a rolling system that'll pull it through if I need to do something larger. So that's kind of nice. I just would be afraid to do anything extra to one of the glow forges just because you spend so much on it. I'd hate to do any modifications to it. That's what's kind of nice about getting one of these cheaper knockoff type things. They work good, but like I said, they need to, when you get them, there's probably a little more setup time than the glow forge. I mean, those kind of come pretty much out of the box ready to go. And these kind of do, but you take a little time with them when you get them. They work good. I haven't had any major problems with mine. I've replaced one tube so far, but I've had it for 6 years now, I guess. Around that time. I mean, there's some limitations still just because it is older. I want to get a newer one. I'd like to get a 100-watt one that's a little bit bigger and bigger cutting area. And then all their, all the boards and everything are all new and updated, not 5-7-year-old stuff. I mean, yeah, my thing might only be 6 years old, but I'm sure the boards in them, something that's been around for a while compared to some of the newer stuff. Eventually, that's what I'd like to upgrade to, but again, I'd like to get a carbon fiber laser too, and some diode lasers. I mean, they all have their own purposes for their own. Can fiber laser cut blue foam mat? It seems like more the fiber laser wouldn't be able to do it. Your CO2 lasers seem to be better cutters, just because of the space you can do with them. Because most of the carbon fiber lasers I've seen, some of the bigger ones are only like 300 millimeter by 300 millimeter or so. So there's just not a real lot of space. And I think it'd probably take it a little bit longer to cut through than a CO2 one, at least by what I've read. But I'm sure it could cut through. It's just a matter of what settings you use and all that. But again, you're limited on how much space you can actually cut in. And that's what I like about the CO2 laser better. Sparkle versus Orion. It's usable, but those things that it's good at, you need the good equipment to pull it off for commercial production versus one or two. Managed to make it work. I guess. I mean, it does depend on what you're looking for. I mean, I'm not doing anything mass scale or anything either. I got it more as my CO2 one more for doing scales at first, and then I've kind of expanded after that point. Like I said, it did the scales okay, but it can take a while. If I load up my whole tray template that I've got all my cutouts for scales to fit in, I mean, it could run a couple hours to get them all done. Compared to, I can put them on a smaller bed on the carbon fiber laser and be done in a matter of minutes, if not less. I mean, if you just need one or two quick scales done, I mean, you can do it in a matter of seconds compared to. And there's no setup time with CO2 laser. You got all the cooling equipment you need to do to keep your CO2 tube cool. And so that, there's setup time to get all that going and all that. So, like I said, they all have their pluses and minuses. That's why eventually I like to have them all. Wife might hear me. Hopefully she's not watching. I cut foam mat and then stitch it together to make prop iron man helms, and like it less than 1 pound, but looks real, and yeah. 14 hour reason cutting them out, 2 hours stitching. You know, yeah. Yeah, glow forwards would work well for you, but like I said, you know, if you find some of those others, uh, you know, and it would be, I would say, in a way, you know, if you do plan on eventually getting it, you got the money to get one. I mean, you might as well get one, I guess. I just didn't have the couple thousand I needed for glow forwards, you know. Well, what are that? I guess it depends on what model you get. Last time I was looking, it's been a few years since I've actually looked at what they got, so they probably got some new stuff now. I think it was like $4,000 for their CO2. I got the somewhat equivalent one for, what was it, 1,500. You know, I mean, I put in some money through the years on doing some upgrades and whatnot to it, but yeah, it'd be nice to have one of each, though, or at least a couple of each. I mean, I am doing a little bit more and more laser stuff, but you know, like I said, chainmail is my first thing, and that's where I go with most of it. Why I got the laser, like I said, to do the tags and my own tags, and I never did pull those out. I might show them. I'm going to do a stream this Saturday and probably show up close some of the other things, and I'll show off some of the laser stuff that I've done on my tags and on with my chainmail dice. On some, I use a drill bit and I'll drill out my dice holes, but other ones instead I'll use the laser etcher to etch on the dots. But I've changed up the dots. I've used music notes and hearts and just all kinds of different things as the dots per se. In a way, it's a little easier than drilling them out, because to drill out, you know, 6 sides, all those little holes. Now I do have my drill press set up to do that, so it's actually fairly easy. And I got it's an otter drill bit, so it actually kind of makes a hole in the middle with an outside ring too, so it kind of looks like a double layered on my dice, and it looks cool. But a lot of people rather kind of go with the laser etched dice tags, because they can pick what they want, you know, what they want to have as their dice holes. And I've actually cut up acrylic dice tags per se, basically the same, and then I've lasered etched in. I'm trying to think of what else I've got. I've done so many different things as the dice themselves. Oh, I did a steampunk version where I used gears as my dice dots. Ever hear of a laser water jet cutter? I want cutting out class and anything I forge. Oh yeah, those would be sweet. I don't know. I've never actually. I've just heard of it as a water jet cutter. I didn't know if they had a laser name per se, but I've seen them in action. My dad's the second in charge of they actually make siding. It's down south in Alabama, but they've got it for all their tooling. They used to outsource all their tooling and stuff, but when they built this new place in Alabama and they moved their headquarters over to it, they got a water jet to cut for all their stuff they need for to make their dyes and stuff for doing that, instead of having to outsource it to places. And that thing is just so freaking cool. So nice and quick and easy. They make it look easy. I'm sure there's a lot to it, and you do have to be a little careful with them, but I mean, you have to be careful with even a diode laser. Those things can be. Actually, a diode laser, I got a small one, and it's almost a little more dangerous than the CO2 laser. I mean, you have to watch them all, but that'd be nice to have one of those. But, you know, I don't know if they have cheaper versions of those, because he was telling me it was like $500,000 for the water jet setup they have down there at this plant. And I was like, ugh, that'd be sweet to have, but if I had $500,000, I'd have a bigger house and a garage. me Brandon's Wazer, you guys, with a table top low forward sized unit. Really? 4K or so for, huh? I'm gonna have to look into that because I've actually never seen any smaller sized ones like that, which would be kind of cool because there have been a few things I wanted to send my dad down there in Alabama going, hey, here's this, here's kind of what I need it to be, can you cut it? Cheaper than find someplace local to do it, but yeah, a home-based unit for water jet, that would be crazy. A Wazer, I'm gonna have to look that up, check that out, because then the wife would want to kill me more. Yeah, that's what I need. More stuff that I need another garage for. Yeah, if I don't ever show up for some streams after a while, you know that I bought something and the wife has grounded me. Demo commercial. They cut a frozen steak into the USA. Now, yeah. And they're pretty powerful, man. That'd be cool if I could get a home version of it. I mean, in 4K, that's, you know, about the price of a carbon fiber laser, which, you know, that's, you know, keeping it under 5,000 for most anything like that for the home side is a lot nicer than some of the, you know, they got big old giant lasers out there that 20 grand, 30 grand, huge things you could put in a piece of 4x8 sheet of plywood or something and cut. But and I'd like to have a plasma cutter. Used to have one of those at when I used to make blades. We made concrete cutting blades and all kinds of different industrial sized blades, circular saw style blades for cutting concrete and other things like that. We had a plasma cutter there, and that thing was just sweet. That'd be another thing to have, but again, that one was super pricey just because. But I mean, I'm sure any kind of plasma cutting device is going to be pretty expensive. But it was nice. It had its own little separate building added on to the building to put that in. An inexpensive plasma cutter. Yeah. I've never really ever even thought about looking those up just because, I mean, this one was pretty big size and I knew how much it was. It's just like, yeah, that's something I could never get, so I never really even thought about it. But it'd be nice to have. It's one of those dream things, kind of like in that one video you sent me of that guy's workshop, and he had freaking every tool. It was like, I could just live in there. I could just put me up a little cot, and I don't need to, you know. Have you ever seen those memes of like a garage, where it's garage, and then there's a little room in the corner that says bed, bathroom right beside it, and the rest of it's garage? That's my kind of house. Just some place to sleep, and the rest of it can be full of tools. I'll be happy. And a 4-axis CNC lathe, oh yeah. Belt sander. Yeah, those are the things I always dream of. It's like, yeah, I know it's never going to happen, but boy, it'd be sweet if I could do that. Have all that stuff, just all the things that I've had in my brain for years. That's one thing I do like about the 3D printer that I got. It does help. I mean, it's not as good as having like a CNC lathe where you can cut it out of solid stuff, but it still has come in handy. I've used it for many odder things. Just I've made hold downs, and like I said, I got this big old they call it a bridge light that I printed off of it. So I've got many things that I've used that printer for, and I do enjoy it. But I'd love to have all that other cooler stuff. 100K for just gotta trade up, yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see where we're at. Crap, we're already at an hour? Yeah, man. Well, I am going to have to close up shop here. Let me go ahead and finish up this row, so I can go make my run up to the store and get the cat stuff I need to get. But, like I said, we will be back on Wednesday. Don't know what we're going to do yet on Wednesday, but we will be here Wednesday. Try to get a little something done. But I want to thank everybody again for I want a wax printer for silver casting. Alright, you stop digging in my brain, man. But anyway, I want to thank everybody that stopped by and watching live. Thank you, John, for stopping in, and anybody that might be watching and don't make posts. Looks like I got a couple out on YouTube and Twitch between the two. I want to thank everybody for stopping in. Thanks for the orders, watching. If you're watching later, I do thank you for that too. If you ever have any questions or anything, just send me messages. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I've got my own website, boogamail.com. Send us a message or whatever you'd like to do. But I hope you all have a good rest of the week. Hope you had a good weekend. And one more ring here, I'll be done with this row. So again, thanks everybody, and we're going to go ahead and call it night. Call it quits for tonight, and we'll see you on Wednesday.